You're listening to BleedTV, the only podcast today's best shows and movies. I'm Zach.
And I'm Cash.
And we have Preacher. This was the 11th episode.
11th or 12th? No, it's 12th.
No, 12th. That's right,
Yeah,
12th.
like,
12.
Wait, no, we got two more? No,
Yeah,
that can't be
no.
right.
I need to get on my knees for that one, yeah.
Oh, nice little smooth transition to the title. On your knees.
On your knees. Befitting
Yeah,
for the episode.
pretty on the nose.
Yeah, this isn't like Into the Badlands where you have no effing clue what you're talking about when it comes to titles. But
I mean, some of the worst titles, but the creativity level of those.
Creativity, but where they had to do anything with it.
Was Breaking Bad like that? Like,
No. Breaking Bad had a lot of metaphors and a lot of unique things, but you could put two and two together.
yeah, like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones has some of the best titles.
Yes.
I mean, like you're like, this applies to like 15 different characters.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. So, like I said, we only have one episode left before the season finale. What was the overall opinion of the episode?
Well, IMDb gave it a solid 8, and I'm going to say, like, I feel like this was a better episode. Like, over the past, like, 4 or 5 weeks, this gave me a lot of things that I wanted.
You know what this episode did for me? It got to the point.
It did.
That's the one thing about it. Like, there was no hee-hawing around. There was no innuendo. There was nothing like that. It was like just like watching a boxing match. This guy's punching this guy's punching that. I mean, that's what you're watching it for.
We
it's
did have
not
a lot
dancing
of
around.
punching.
You know, it is what it was. And this one really did. We had a lot of good action. It progressed. You know,
one of the best like choreographed fights. Like nothing was over dramatic in anything. Like there wasn't like a terrible miss in the punches and kicks and hits. Like I really appreciated that because we've seen a lot of bad fight scenes that were really cool, but were just done poorly.
Right. Well, let's dive into it and get with it. We really kind of have gone more into the Hitler and Eugene little saga because last time we saw them, they had just dropped into the hole, and
I am completely confused on this hole. Like, I mean, I hate to go ahead and jump to like the end of the hole, but how are they looking down on people after we drop into this hole?
This is a great question.
Because
not only that, even the Satan lady or the warden or whatever you want to call it, she's like, any chance we found him, this, that, or so on. Did we not realize that we dropped the bar that holds the hole open and it's not in the right place? I mean, there are some dead ringer clues here. And then, like you said, the whole you're in the ventilation shaft above people who are below you. I mean, it makes no sense.
Yeah, and then like the timeline is really iffy because we walk over or crawl over the Cowboys. Hell.
Exactly.
And so, like, instead of looking for Eugene and Hitler, we go off on a side mission?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was very scattered. I mean, because the Hitler-Eugene thing, well, first of all, the other thing is, too, is they get down here, and this is Eugene's hole, okay? Yeah. Oh. The last time we were in the hole, his vision was the preacher, Jesse,
which I was expecting to come through again.
This time, it's a whole different angle. It ends up with a mascot. It ends up with
a very dark mascot, as we find out pretty quickly. But Hitler's facial expressions through all of this, hilarious.
I was laughing pretty good with this. The whole 9 yards.
No, like what haven't you beat? It was just like, oh God, you fight. Of course, she's going to ask to see it. And he's like, oh, God.
I know it.
It's like this again. And I was like, well done, Hitler. Like, I mean, God, I want to like you so much, but you're Hitler.
Exactly. Well, she's like, oh, disgusting little thing. I was like, oh, my God. Man. And then the constant blowing her head off.
Oh, my God.
And then the mascot, and he greases the mascot.
Is like, hey, remember when I said you'd never touch me again? I meant to boom. Yeah. I was like, not wasting any time with this one. Like, why you were a boss, I don't know.
But like the dad with the face, I hated it. I didn't care for that at all. It was great to see the actor back. Yeah, it really was. But I hate to say it, but like his prosthetic on his face didn't move or work even when he was trying to. At least when Eugene was doing his part, like you saw movement.
It was creepy
with the hole and the drool and things like that. It was like more emphasis on detail.
And this guy is like the the subtitles were pointless because I could understand them perfectly.
Right, and it was
like you said. There was no like, so there was no.
Yeah, no. It was like I'm talking with a sheet over my face.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't rhyme. I mean, it didn't rhyme true, and I was really surprised the prosthetic wasn't done better. Don't get me wrong, it looked cool if you were frozen picture, but when he went to moving and talking, and I was like, I just couldn't stop focusing on it, going like, you're talking and your jaw.
I was just looking at a butthole, like that's not moving.
Yeah, like it was missing the whole point there.
But I hated how like simple it was. Like I know we couldn't have spent any more time on it, but it was just like, no, Dad, I love you, and like I was like, yeah, this is touching, this is wonderful, but what was the point?
Yeah, I don't know. Like he was perfect with everything except for the girl.
Yes,
you know what I mean. And I was like, okay.
And I mean, I understand why we didn't want to go back to the girl and everything. And like, bravo for Eugene for like, no, it's not my fault that you killed yourself. That's on you and stuff. Like, to beat that survivor's guilt, which is a huge thing in pretty much like his entire character. So now we're going to be hopefully looking at a completely different new Eugene.
Well, yeah, we should have somebody who's definitely more self-confident. And
like, I mean, that's a big thing. It hopefully doesn't get brushed over. And
yeah, I really do. But like I said, to close out that scene of them opening the window and then ending up in the ventilation shaft, I didn't really understand that. No, don't get me wrong.
And like, I don't even know how they got to the ventilation shaft.
Right, because the thing was showing, and then he went through the window, you know,
and they were it
was a solid wall.
Yeah, like as soon as they got out of the window, like it was just the projection ended. So like they were still in a solid room.
Yeah.
And then like I'm trying to think back, there is no hole in the ceilings. Like these projectors drop down.
Correct.
And it's just a pole. So why would there be a reflection, like a perfect square cut up in these things that we've never seen before?
And I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you because like, it beats me up. It really does because I mean, like, well, the next scene does the same BS in a different way.
Well, I mean, before that, like, why didn't we get Hitler's again? Like, how did it pick Eugene? Like, I mean, that's a weird
true.
thing.
Why was Eugene the pick and not Hitler when it came to the hole?
Like, does Hitler not have to beat his personal hell? Like, I mean, this was...
And which would have been really intriguing to see what Hitler's was.
Yeah. I mean, like, we know, like, how does he beat it?
Right.
And I mean, as much as I love Eugene and everything, and, like, are we going to go back to the mascot? Or was it just in there?
I think it was just in there.
Which is really sad because then it's like, kind of, what's the point? Because, I mean, that was a deep, dark thing.
It was. But I'll be honest with you, I would have been much more intrigued to see Hitler's dark side.
Yes.
Because what we got.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, the next thing is that the truck at the bottom of the deepest swamp in all of Louisiana.
Jamie is still swimming in this swamp is how deep that thing is.
I'm calling straight BS.
Yeah, I mean, that thing felt like 7 seconds in water time.
I mean...
And head first.
I'm sorry. This is a total crock of you-know-what. And... Because
bull malarkey. That's what that was.
It was terrible.
It's just a whole pool of bull malarkey.
Because when they first showed the scene of the truck going into the swamp way back when, a few episodes back, you know what I mean? They made it look like it was a big old swamp, Well, then they drew the camera back to see what you are, and it's right next to a street. I mean, this thing probably wasn't 10 feet deep.
No, not even close.
And, you know, probably just enough for that truck just to submerge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because, like, it didn't even fall, like, head first or anything. It gently drove into it.
Right. It was
and it's like
a drift.
Yeah.
It was a slow drift.
It was like it hit quicksand. It just slowly sunk down into it.
I was like, so when they showed the scene of this thing like sinking to the abyss and hitting the bottom.
The cleanest water I've ever seen in a Louisiana swamp by the way.
It was tough.
Like, this was tough. Like out in Nevada, crystal blue after we got through like the first 2 inches of swamp.
I hate to beat that up, but like you didn't have to go that far.
No,
you really didn't. You know, and so now the whole punching the door, and then 1 week later still punching the door. You know, I was laughing pretty good. I thought that was pretty. That's an easy way to get a little pun or a little humor into the mix.
Yeah, but I mean, we still have no idea how they found this thing. Like, I mean, that was a big question we had.
I'm with you. You know, I tried to go back and think about how long have they been tailing Jesse Custard and all of them like that. And so I'm going to say there's plausibility.
That they somehow have a GPS tracker on them or
Not
something?
necessarily that they've just always kept eyes on him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because, like, if you remember when they first got to New Orleans, they were already kind of hot and heavy on him.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the whole setup of the singer and the white coats and the whole 9 yards. And that was within the first couple episodes. So you have to imagine they've kept tabs on him.
Okay. I can
And so
see
I'm
that.
going to call that plausible.
And I hate to, like, nitpick and stuff, but, like, also at the swamp scene, we see them, the big thing that's lifting it up, like, what, you know what that machine is?
It's a mobile crane.
Yeah, so that mobile crane is on wood.
That's right. It has on 4x8 sheets.
Yeah, you know, making sure that there's no marks or anything.
That and it doesn't sink.
The other vehicle, they just drive it has completely different tire marks. And they don't we don't see them laying any new grass or anything. I made sure to look for it.
Yeah.
They didn't. And so we don't see all these other tire marks.
Yes. When you come back to go and get the vehicle, you would have known all this ground and from a giant wrecker pulling it out and all the
pretty big flaw. Like when you're being that meticulous with the mobile crane. And like you said, like I guess part of it was just to make sure it doesn't sink and everything. But man, that just looks bad.
It does. It doesn't jive well.
And then the last thing is, so we see him punching this thing underwater for a week, right?
Correct.
No give, no nothing. Water doesn't come close to breaching this thing.
Correct.
When we see them sink it, the doors are closed. It's the same exact kind of truck.
That is correct. And so when they put the replacement truck in there, somehow that one
gets filled with water.
Flawed door frame, I guess, if it was identical. Yeah, another detail that was kind of a misfire.
But I mean, like we harped on all of these things last week, and I wanted to make sure that I mean, this is what we watch it for. And
this is supposed to be the clarification, but it didn't happen.
We didn't get it, and I'm off the soapbox.
Yeah,
sorry everybody, but
I know. But you know, the thing about this episode that came to fruition is that, like way late in the episode, this episode establishes that the Grail, the industry or whatever you want to call it, the organization has a connection to hell.
Yeah, has a connection to everything.
And so, I hate to say that doesn't make sense into the connectivity of different things that have happened to them. Because originally, like, well, these are the people who hired God's replacement.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, then now they're connected to the other side of the coin when it comes to hell and everything like that. And so,
how are you supposed to have influence in hell?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a good thing you're friends with her star. I'm like,
excuse me?
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna say I dislike this. I'm just saying, like, we need more to make understanding of where this connection is.
Yeah.
And how the Grail has what they're talking about. So that was something that was a real big deal for me for the episode.
Well, I mean, even back to then, like, we see how manipulative her star is.
Correct.
He goes, makes sure that the cowboy goes back after them and then pulls them off perfectly. And what a fantastic way of her to come up with a solution to get him to not do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, hey, how do you motivate the cowboy like that and stuff? And then be like, no, I'm not going back. Hey, your cell's open. Someone's got to go in there.
Right. You know, and I love how they set it up for the heartstring because they show you, you know, the cowboy having these memories of her.
Great backstory.
Like her and the child and when she's pregnant. And then he's talking about getting baptized and stop the killing, stop the drinking.
On your knees.
Right.
And I was like, oh.
Right.
Like, nice power play against the cowboy.
Exactly. You know, I have to say something, though. I was kind of expecting them to kind of clean the cowboy up a little bit. He looks just as rough and god-awful when he was supposed to be in his happy part of his life.
Oh, yeah. No, I say he looks even worse.
I mean, like, give this guy, a little glimmer of a smirk.
Yeah.
I mean,
or maybe, like, not the beard.
All we got is him having a little bit of a cute conversation with his daughter about eating beets or putting stuff in his milk. And
what was that, sugar, you think, or salt?
Some kind of seasoning.
Yeah.
But that was it. I was really kind of surprised that they didn't do something to kind of make him look younger.
Yeah.
And a little bit happier and maybe a little clean.
He looked older and worse. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Because like when you're in that situation, you're supposed to be quote unquote happy, and you're not. Like
you shouldn't look like death. I mean, that's the whole deal. Don't get me wrong now, because I mean, like when we first watched the show, it was dark. He was always chasing, brooding. You wanted to have that scary appeal, but you should have changed up this a little bit to make it look like, well, this was the shiny part of his life. So,
like, I mean, you're not pulling on the heartstrings correctly if, like, I don't believe that you're ever really happy. And, like, it felt like an old bad Western. And, like, it works for those things back then because they're spaghetti Westerns. Like, we don't know if he's a good or bad guy.
Correct.
Like, we essentially know that this is the baddest person ever. And if he's not happy at any point, why are we even worried about him?
Right. Now, it does cut away and you see Jesse, and he's sitting on the couch where he believes that God in the dog suit was.
Fantastic shot.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool. And then so he comes back. And by this time, Cassidy and Tulip have kind of come to the conclusion they're not real pleased with old Jesse.
Yeah. Well, Cassidy's not happy in any shape, way, or form. Yeah. You know, he has no control over Dennis. He's
having to hide a dog.
Yep. And he's third in command.
Yeah. And Tulip is all over the map.
So, like, this is possibly her best episode of the season. And I mean, like, there's only like a very small gap of when she's really good in the episode.
Yeah, I give you, like, her being less of this, confused, nightmare, whatever, all that kind of stuff, and her being Tulip, the one we liked originally, much more appealing to watch.
But, like, I don't even know if she's necessarily Tulip. Like, she's just like it's so hard to kind of
fearless, not afraid to go to action. Tulip's what I like.
Yeah, like, I mean, would just say she's just so nihilistic right now?
Maybe so. But
I don't know, like, there's just the conversation where she's like, I'm number one. Cassidy's like, whoa. Who says you're in charge? Like, I'm the leader. He's like, you're clearly number 3. What? How do you say? Well, you're not the boss of me. Yeah, you're right. You're not the boss of Jesse. Yeah. I mean, I've got soldiers. And I thought he was going to say, like, people he's
Yeah, I thought we were going to get a little bit of snippet there.
And, maybe we do end up, like, maybe he does have this and stuff, and, like, he's just playing coy with it. But that would kind of be against his character, since he always says
that's against his character, and I don't know of anything comic book wise that would even support something doing that. Angle.
Okay, but it's just like,
so
I'm in charge of Dennis and the dog,
and you're failing horribly. Yes, there's no doubt. So Jesse shows back up. They kind of have a little riff of what happened to God. I don't want to talk about it. Let's go get something to eat.
Yeah,
and so we go to a small Cracker Jack diner, and this is. Is this before or after they talk to Star?
I think this is after. Yeah, this is after. So before that, he's like, let's get a drink and stuff. And then Tulip goes to take out the trash. And Cassie's talking about his, like, hunch, like prison drink or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so they go to the back porch and start drinking, I guess, battery acid, as Jesse calls it.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like a bright neon green. Or whatever it is, I don't know. I was willing to try it.
It looked pretty rough.
Yeah, I'm taking a swig. Yeah, anything I can do to take a drink with Cassidy, let's do it.
Yeah.
But as Tulip is taking out the trash, we hear the cowboy. Mm-hmm. Like, do we want to talk about the cowboy? I don't even remember the other guy's name. That's in love with the chick.
Oh, you talking about when they had the conversation in the truck?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy tells him to make a deal. You got nothing to lose. You're not going to be going to heaven. We get this, but this is the next best thing. Yada. And basically convinces him and then releases him and then runs like he's scared for his life.
Exactly. But this was the weird thing. He came out from the back of the truck.
He did. He was in the truck with him, but then he got out and ran.
Yeah. So why would you lock yourself in there with him and then run like that?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I have forgotten that part about that, but it made no sense.
No, because like
if you were willing to get in the truck with him to make this,
why leave the door closed?
Oh, because what I saw, like you said, he came out of the double doors. He was in there with him,
and like sprinting for his life.
Correct. I did think that was weird. It really, really was. And then, like I said, when she's taking the trash out, Cowboy shows up. He leans up like that, preacher, and she's like, she doesn't say anything, and he's like, weapon,
Yeah.
And then that's all she wrote. Then this is when Tulip becomes Tulip.
Exactly.
And just goes after him. And how about this overhand right she gives him?
My goodness.
I mean, it was impressive.
Yes.
It was impressive. And then this is where I think its rule of cool is great. I really, really do. But if he hits you with the force to
throw you against the wall like 40 feet away
and fall, you're broken somewhere. I'm just going to put it out there.
Like your spine is done.
I mean, like, or you have such a nasty bruise or contusion
and
that your shoulder
everywhere.
I mean, like that you're barely moving.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that's a blow.
Yeah,
you know?
and I mean this isn't like new walls where it's drywall and you end up just kind of falling gently into something if you don't hit one of the 2x4s. This is old like concrete.
Right. So I mean, like, don't get me wrong. The rule of cool, I get that, and I understand you want to do that kind of stuff, but don't make it so far out there. You know, it's one thing if it's Cassidy going through a wall, who is basically immortal. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, like we just know he's got to eat something later.
Right.
And we're good
but
to
Tulip,
go.
It's just a normal person.
She's like a 90-pound little.
Yeah, I mean, so don't do that.
No,
don't. You know. Swat her, knock her down, But if you hit her and make her go against the wall, against the floor, I mean,
she's done. She's not coming back into the fight.
Just know that.
So are two people? Are they not in the room across the hall anymore? Are they?
They're watching her on camera.
Man,
so when the cowboy comes in, like it's all part of the plan.
Yeah.
So he goes to the knife drawer, pulls out the big knife.
I was expecting him to end up with like one of the butchers, like you're using to chop meat and everything.
Right, a cleaver.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And but no, and then he pulls out the small, like
like a prairie knife, and I was like, "There's no way." I was like, "No, he's definitely going to pick this one." And sure enough, he's like, "Yeah, this will do." And
I mean that. Okay, whatever. To each their own, you know.
Well, I mean, I think it was partly done for just comedy factor.
Yeah, let's don't go so stereotypical.
Yeah.
To pull the biggest blade out of the cabinet. But yeah, I mean,
I appreciate it and everything. And then Jesse calls out, "Hey, Tulip, get a 6-pack or something." And they're like, "Huh." She usually jumps right in there. Cassidy goes out to look, and the cowboy, for whatever
walks in on Dennis first.
Yeah. Goes to Dennis, and I guess Dennis is masturbating. Like, I mean, that's what I'm going to assume.
To me, it looked like he was doing something on the computer with music. I don't know. I didn't get that sense immediately.
Yeah. Well,
all I know is when they cut back to him, he was laying there twitching.
Yeah.
And
God, I was hoping he was dead. Like, I hate to say it, but
well, this is where I would have really, really, really enjoyed a scene where like. Because later, a few minutes after that, they're like, "Oh, Dennis, he's alive, but he's got this really strange neck angle." You know what I mean? Like this.
Yeah.
I would have loved a scene like you hear the little struggle, and you see Dennis there, and his neck is literally where his ear is touching his shoulder.
Yeah, it's like he looks like an owl or something.
Right, like it's literally like, holy shit, that's ridiculous. Yeah. That's awesome, hilarious.
Like we have to figure out like. You said how immortal are vampires and everything.
Right. And so to me, when you see him laying at the end of the bed and he's just looking and he's twitching like that, to me, it's like, does that mean he just took a punch and is confused about what happened? Mm-hmm. Or did he have a mortal wound or nothing? To me, it was
a missed opportunity.
It was a missed opportunity. I mean, we've seen Dennis fly over there and tear a man's jugular off and do all this, eat. I mean, we name it. But we go into a room and off camera, and it ends up with him just laying on the ground twitching.
Yeah.
That was a letdown for me. Like I said, that's a golden opportunity. Now, don't get me wrong, they picked it right back up after that because then you see Jesse walk around and then you see Cassidy get chunked across the room.
As he sits down. And also, I don't endorse smoking. I've actually never smoked cigarettes or anything.
Pretty freaking cool how he gets the cigarette to come out of the pack.
That's exactly what I was like. But if I ever did smoke, man, I'm going with the soft pack so I can just be like, dude.
Yeah, just a little tap.
Oh my God, that was so cool. And I was like,
that's, I mean, for some reason that stuck out. It stuck out to me like crazy. That's cool as shit,
and
man.
I don't know, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it, but I don't know if as soon as he did it, that's when we saw Cassidy fly.
It was close to it. I did practice. What he didn't do was the old Zippo trick where you to snap your fingers to fire it up.
That is how I do all of my Zippos.
Yeah, I mean, I can the single hand open and light. You know?
It's a great feeling when you like. I mean, I spent a few hours mastering
Oh,
but it's worth it. Rule of cool.
Rule of cool. But yeah, like I said, you see Cassidy fly across the room, and that was pretty awesome. Yeah. I mean, that's good. So then when the cowboy comes in, and he immediately tries to tell him, you know, I was nice, I was merciful, and so on.
He's basically like, you're a little pussy. Yeah, I was like, okay.
And so he does the word again, and nothing.
And so like we saw him pick up the speaker from Dennis.
He did.
I have no idea how you turn the speaker into earplugs. Couldn't tell you. But also, he can distinctively hear Preacher.
He can. That's the whole deal. It's like, I was like, okay, he's got his ears blocked or something. But then when he talks, he responds.
Yeah.
Like you heard what he said.
So is it a distortion? And like just a minor distortion prevents Genesis from working?
Well, let me tell you this. If there's a viewer out there that said this was plausible based on this information, I call bullshit.
Yeah, like there's
because
nothing.
This actually pissed me off. Like, okay, well, are we supposed to know that he had another deal where this doesn't work on him anymore, or this extra one, or whatever? I mean, but you're showing they're having conversation, or he hears what he's saying, but yet his word doesn't work. No.
So I have two things that I guess that could happen. And this is why the dude was in the back of the truck with him. Is either A, he extracted Jesse's soul, and they just didn't tell Jesse, and that's why they're not worried about sending the cowboy back to hell. Or B, it's like the people in the office when Jesse was talking to him, and they didn't really respond. You know how we were like, hey, there's something off? They gave that to him. But I think it's the extracted the soul. But like then like what was the point of him grabbing the speaker? So like there's
it's just inconsistency.
Yeah, like there's a big problem. I think it's going to get cleared up next episode.
Gosh, it needs to.
But that was a huge flaw.
It was.
But now that he's back in hell, why would we even clear it up? So like I mean we're stuck in a bit bad spot.
Exactly. It's like, let's focus on having a really cool fight scene, conversation, dialogue, but let's don't worry about how it got to it.
Ooh, you're going Walking Dead theory with it. It's like, hey, man, I got this really cool thing. Let's not really worry how we get there. But
exactly. We could have the whole deal where it turns dark and light in 5 hours. But yeah, no. But again, you know, so he tries it, the word doesn't work, so they've had some pretty cool hand-to-hand combat. I thought that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I mean, like, he's hitting them and stuff, and I love how it's just like, not affecting the cowboy.
It's not. It really, really isn't. You know,
like he's an old knight in armor and just not.
Well, here's the thing. Like Jesse punches, and you do see movement of the head of the cowboy, so it is making him deal with that. But then, again, we talked about this the other time. Is that Cassidy
is a vampire?
Is a vampire who has superhuman strength.
Does he have superhuman strength?
Okay. Well, I keep going back to season 1 where you can snatch a 600-pound cow.
Yeah.
Down and engulf it. You know, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
with half your body missing. So
exactly. So if you can do that,
you have to have superhuman strength.
You can tear a human in half.
Yes.
Because that's a 600-pound cow you drag down.
In like one bite.
I mean, so when I see that and he has that kind of capability, it's very curious, but also, you know, like it's also disturbing too. You know, they're not consistent with that either.
Because I completely forgot that Jesse or that Cassidy did that. Yeah. And so now it's like, no,
it's almost like it's a rewrite.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, we made a mistake with that power he has back then. Let's don't ever address again and try to make him more like human.
And like they were playing really fast and loose with his sunlight thing, which also
I didn't even see the sun touch his hand when they were doing the drink.
No.
I just saw him go, you know, like that was a big deal. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get to it later on, but then he starts putting a whooping on old Jesse, and then our girl Tulip finally shows up. And
with the iron. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm excited for this fight scene because she's clearly the best hand-to-hand person that we have. She's going to be juking and jiving and everything.
Yeah, she does pretty well.
I mean, for as well as could be done.
Well, she's doing better than the guys.
Yes.
Let's put it that way. Cassidy's in a wall by this time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just hanging out. and
throws him through the wall. And like Cassidy's just ass hanging out. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm done, guys.
with his joggers on, not even full, not even real pajamas, just his joggers. But yeah, I like that. But then eventually the cowboy gets to put the hand around the throat.
Well, no, back to like the bottom jaw again. Same exact situation. And then for whatever reason, just saying, Jesse, in a selfless moment, hey, I thought you weren't here for her. Just drops her. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And she's done?
Well, right before that, he said he started talking about a noise of what it meant to hear somebody who scalped somebody because he's rubbing a knife against his boot. And I don't know if you noticed this. Did you notice that the bottom of his boot had a modern sole on it? It had an imprint on the bottom of it, like a sneaker has like a grip on the bottom. His boot had print on the bottom of it.
Oh God!
I'm sorry if you're from the 1800s of Ratwater. They didn't make them where they had the Duralast on the bottom of them to make sure you didn't slip on the wood. Okay, it's a solid piece of leather across the bottom. So when I'm watching him do his boot, I'm looking at the bottom, I'm freezing it, going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, there's no excuse for that.
Did Nike make those for you today?
Has it got an insole too? Is it that?
So
Dr. Scholl's?
I think they just literally didn't think and look at it.
Yeah,
because like when he's rubbing that knife against his boot, I was like, "Oh, this is cool," but then I'm like, "Whoa." And I even rewound it. I told my wife, I was like, "What do you see there?" And she goes, "A boot." And I was like, Thanks, honey.
Captain Obvious. Hey, Sherlock did.
Really? Here's your sign." And I was like, "No, what do you see on the bottom of the boot?" And she goes, "Tread." And I was like, "This is an 1800s cowboy." She goes, "Oh, bullshit." I was like,
there we go.
Ding, ding, ding. And your prize is, So, that was kind of a surprise. But I did like the story, though. He was like, the man told me, of course, I killed him outright, dude, And so then he goes, and I was like, we're fitting to cut the beautiful hair of Jesse Custard off.
Oh, man. We get the one mark, and I was like, you talked about the comics with Tulip, and I was like, maybe we just give that plot to Jesse.
Maybe so.
And, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
But, of course, this is where we get the lady who runs hell, and I guess she's the devil's right-hand man or woman.
To me, it's like she's the warden of part of hell, and her does the bidding of Satan, or what you want to call it. And out of nowhere, just shows up with her enormous gorilla-looking fella.
Yeah.
Okay,
and,
which makes the cowboy look tiny.
This guy's going to play a very significant role somehow.
God, I hope so. I want to see more. And she just, stops him dead in his tracks. It's time to go with us, blah, blah, blah. And that was just, I don't know. I didn't get that. It
felt odd.
It was too convenient.
Yep.
It was like, I'm sorry, you just can't have that kind of perfect planning.
I think he was able to, but the time doesn't sync up.
It's thin.
Oh, it's very thin.
Thin. I'm talking like thin as the ice lake around Jon Snow. I'm telling you, thin.
But, I'm able to believe it because he has the self-service all over the world and everything, and he's like,
I guess
we released him at this time. He should get there at this time. I need you there, outside the door, as soon as the cowboy walks in. But then, we don't know how do you get out of hell? There's a lot of unanswered questions that we just have to be okay with.
I'm not standing on that ice with that.
No.
I'm not doing it.
I don't want to.
Not doing it. No, not feeling that at all.
But then, is there any purpose for the cowboy or us to even go back to hell again? There is no reason.
And see, that's another thing. This is diverged from where the comic books have the cowboy. This is diverged. They've really, really gone in different directions with this whole scenario. Not only that, as far as I'm in the comic books, which is a pretty good ways. They don't even have this hell, a warden, Hitler, any of this kind of stuff.
Man, that's weird.
And so, I think it's a cool little adaptation that you've added Hitler, and we found a way to make us sympathetic to it.
Oh my God! That's what I love more than anything.
I think it's cool about how they've made what hell is like an old projector room, and you get to watch your worst day or what
Over
creates
and
who you
over
are and over
again.
and over again. That is hell. I mean,
Yeah.
I get that. It's a TV acceptable version of what hell could be like, and so I think that's all cool, but
Why did you connect it with Her Star? Like, why is it connected with Grail Industries?
I mean, that's where, like, when you read the comic book version, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
And so if you're going this route, we've gone through the entire second season of Eugene in Hell, and it's very spotty, and we don't see light at the end of the tunnel yet, but they can magically go here, there, so on, and we're in ventilation shaft.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for that pickup.
Well, I mean, let me
where
ask
it's going
you
to
this.
go.
Do you think that Her Star is Satan?
No,
Do you
I don't.
do you think he has a direct line to, like, is Satan making a power play and that's why the devil, or that's why God is missing?
I think
Because Hell's got to be playing a bigger picture than it does
I'm with
in the
you.
comic
I
and
think the
everything.
biggest deal is that you have people, like any great powers, you have boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Is what I call it, and I think your big dog when it comes to boots on the ground is Her Star.
But I mean, who's the boots for? Satan or God?
Well, I think you play the fence.
How do you play the fence with?
Well, like you're trying to do good because you believe the Messiah is going to come back, but then you're also doing bidding to make sure the agenda is pushed forward to maintain balance. I mean, like I said, I am grasping for straws with
Like,
this.
I mean, that's not even walking on ice. That's just Jesus walking on water, right
Well,
there.
I mean-
because like, there's no layer for you.
Well,
to
when you
understand,
think of biblical term and different things of that nature, like that, even nature's law, it's all about balance.
yeah,
And if something gets out of balance one too far away, the other side picks up. And I think Her Star is like the balancing beam. He teeters it back and forth.
but we have no balance,
I'm with you.
and
That's
it's
just
like,
pure speculation.
I don't see how God's going to let Satan have the same person for balancing. Like, that just makes no sense to me.
I'm with you. I mean, it doesn't, like, what they've shown us on the show doesn't give us enough to make a rational decision on where something's leaning or how or why. And that's where we need more.
But like, if y'all have any idea of what Hell's going to do, or who Satan is, do you think we've already seen him, or do you think?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be a pretty cool reveal.
Yeah.
Next episode, that's something that comes out of the situation.
Do you think it's the same exact Satan as from Seth Rogen's movie This Is the End? Like, if it's just like the giant dude with the bull horns and everything?
No.
Or like he calls it Danny McBride or Jace
No,
Franco?
I could totally. I think it'll have a very comical. It'll have a comical element to it.
Yes, I mean,
Just
it
like
has to.
the warden, you look at her and you're like, this is the warden, and then every so often you catch that real demon voice.
Oh yeah, and
and
her eyes are
right. I
very-
think there's going to be something to that. I'm not real sure. I don't think it'll be somebody like we would consider as a comedian.
Yeah.
I think it'll have a comical effect, but not be like a comedic person.
I don't know if it's Danny McBride. I might.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If it's Danny McBride, I'm gonna turn the fucking show off.
No, you're not.
I'm sorry. I mean,
Oh, God,
if you
I'm-
watched Vice Principals,
I've watched Eastbound and Down. Like, if Kenny Powers comes out rocking those K-Swiss tubes,
I'm telling you right
golden.
now, you watch Vice Principals, it is the most. I barely made it through 4 or 5 episodes.
Man, those trailers look so good though, and even season.
Well, that's
2
the whole
trailers.
deal. The trailer is funny. The episodes, dog shit.
Man, it's so sad because Walter Goggins, like,
Well, like,
easily one
yeah,
of my
but-
favorite actors.
Yeah, but I mean, like, where they got him going with his stuff, I mean, it's just, I don't know. To me, it's one of those shows you either freaking absolutely love it because you just really enjoy Danny McBride and his anger comedy,
Yeah.
because that's what it is. It's anger comedy. Or you effing hate the show. I mean, it's just one of those things,
Man.
I
Yeah,
mean,
did you ever watch Eastbound and Down?
I did a couple episodes. I never got into it.
Okay, so it might just be a odd remake of that.
Maybe. I don't know. It's definitely Danny McBride and his style.
Okay.
Okay, but Danny McBride is a great comedic effect when he is not the primary character.
I can see
If he's
Yeah.
not the lead role. Well, in Vice Principals, he's more of the lead
Lead
role.
role. No,
and it's
he's
too
a-
much. It's like Will Ferrell is so fun to watch a lot of times. A lot of
As
his
a
most
sidekick.
is the side guy, not the head guy.
Yeah.
It's rare. I mean, there's only a few of them that I really enjoy, but he had such a good supporting cast around him to make it where it wasn't just the Will Ferrell show, which was
there's no
very
one
tough.
ever that's really the lead guy in any Will Ferrell movies. That is amazing.
The only one that even comes to my mind, like a lot of people love Elf.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think people like it because it's a Christmas movie.
Exactly.
That has him in it, not because it's a Will Ferrell movie. So you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the only one I can say I actually enjoy start to finish with Will Ferrell, and because everything like that is the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Okay.
Not even old school?
Well, old school, like he was.
Okay.
He wasn't the primary.
Well, I mean, to say he's a primary, but John C. Reilly's so prominent in that.
Right.
And easily one of the most underrated actors. Like, that dude can do any genre.
When he's surrounded, I'm with you on that. But, true lead actor,
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell, Ricky Bobby's about... It's got to be the top of the heap of ones you can actually enjoy from start to finish. But think about how many people are in that movie that are fun to watch.
Oh, my God. It is loaded.
Yeah. So, it's just examples like that. And so that's where he comes into play. So I would be mad if he comes in as the
devil or something.
The devil. And, because another thing is his type of humor is a lot of profanity and that. And AMC is not going to go down that like that.
No, you are right about that. Yeah.
So, he can't be funny without spitting out 27 cuss words in the process of saying a 30 words monologue.
No, you're 100% right about that. So
there you go.
So no Danny McBride. I'm sorry.
No,
I tried.
No, it ain't gonna happen. Now Walter Goggins, on the other hand, the other half of that, now that would be cool as hell to see him as being somebody.
He'd be so terrifying.
Yeah, he could play that role. There's no doubt. So, but the other thing here too is that we're naming male actors. It could be a female.
Yeah.
We really could shake things up. You just never know,
you never know with Seth.
With this show, you really never know.
Hold on.
It could be a child for all we know.
I'm going to throw something at you.
Well, let me get something to block myself.
Tom Cruise. With all the little things we did back in season 1 and stuff.
I'm sorry.
How great would it be?
Tommy won't be on the show. I'm sorry.
No,
that's not going to happen.
But you could actually, he did.
Give me Clooney. All right. But no, that's where it's going to go with that. You know what I mean? And of course, like I said, we talked earlier, the episode wraps up with they're going to the ambulance. And of course, the ambulance is owned by Grail Industries.
I threw up when I saw the Grail
Industries. That's and then of course they meet with, they got hoods over their heads. And again, Cassidy is right there. But he has his arm in a sling?
Yeah.
What the shit is that?
And he goes to get more blood, but then he's perfectly fine when he gets back and they didn't get any blood or anything.
I'm just...
And
I just don't get this.
How did he get to the ambulance? Because in the first episode, we've got police officers literally taking off their jackets to hold over his head. He doesn't have his umbrella. He's got his arm
outside.
Sling. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'm just...
It's those are the small comedic effects that
we love the continuity guy? Where is the guy going, hey, by the way, he's standing in the sunlight.
Yeah, where's his
sunglasses? A second ago when they were drinking, he barely got hit by sunglasses you couldn't even see on camera.
Yeah.
And he burned up? Okay. All right. Yeah.
He doesn't have his sunglasses anymore.
Well, let's don't worry about Dennis, evidently, who had a broke neck in there. I guess he didn't get to make the trip.
Just laying there.
Yeah, I'm saying, where are they doing?
No continuity.
Yeah, I'm just like, huh? So we only need these two characters to talk to her star. Let's don't bring Dennis in the mix.
Yeah.
He's still twitching with his broke neck.
But maybe that shows that he's just going to be killed off, hopefully.
If we're lucky,
Oh, God.
I think we will get to see a vampire fully burn or whatever you want to call it. Because, we got to saw Cassidy what happened to him.
Yes.
And everything else. But, I don't know. In the comic books, when a vampire dies, you burn to it, and then eventually there's a small explosion of what's left of you.
That makes sense. Oh, so it's like Blade.
Very so much so.
Okay. I can get down with that. Blade, oh, God. Those were hard to watch. Very gruesome.
Yeah. That
we're sitting there talking to her star and everything, and I don't know if you noticed, Tulip has sunlight 100% bathing on her, and then Cassidy is in shaded,
perfect shadow.
I was like, really? Like, what kind of blinds do we have here? That
Lack of, yeah.
Because, like, as we're looking at her star, he's completely lit up from the sun in the background. I'm just like,
I don't know. And then it was. Do you think it's random they accepted his conversation so quickly and easily and simply? Of who in the hell, instead of being like, who in the hell are you? And why did you put your hood over me? And why are we here? Obsessed. There is nothing. It was just like, oh, hey.
Sounds good. You're right. You want Jesse to be all powerful and stuff.
Right. You want him to be the new Messiah.
And I mean, that goes back to me saying, like, at the beginning of the episode, Tulip just being very nihilistic and just.
Yeah. It just. That didn't jive either.
Like, I don't see how you go from, like, when we're eating dinner with Jesse, like, hey, Padre, you know, let's get down to the elephant in the room. And she's like, I love you, but what do you need me for? I don't. He loves you? Like,
simple answer.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's literally anything. He's just like, well, I'm going to be the Messiah. I mean, I don't see how my ego isn't rubbing off on y'all and everything. Like, of course you just come with me. Like, what?
Do you think it was quick that he turned the tide to say, okay, I'm okay with being the Messiah now, when he was the first one to say it's blasphemy?
Yeah. Like, there was no reason for him to change.
We're talking in 3 episodes. We've gone a complete reversal.
And all because her star was able to manipulate the cowboy?
I thought that was strange. To me, it would have been much more plausible if he had said, I'm going to come out to become the replacement God, to draw God out. To me, like, that could be something where you could draw
no,
God.
That's still blasphemy, though.
I'm with you. You know, but if your intentions are to find God by, you know, I don't know, being an imposter or saying you're the new one or whatever, I don't know. There needed to be something more than just we're heading to an episode where he's going to turn the tide and become.
And are we not going to have to kill Jesse? Like, that's some.
This opens a whole new floodgate of problems. You know, when you self-proclaim yourself as the new Messiah, you immediately become the target.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like you just got rid of the one guy who was trying to kill you, who could do it and was basically about to. And now you're about to add a whole new list of characters of people who are going to want to kill you because you're claiming to be God or the new version. And so this is where, like, even when we got on social media, that this was the biggest concern of the episode. Put all the little details away, or I'd like to change this and this, because I still enjoyed the episode. Don't get me wrong.
No,
There's a lot of details I didn't care for, or I thought could have been better. But when they showed where the episode is going now for the season finale, I'm really shaking my head.
Like, I don't know what you're going to do.
The whole idea that now I've made the decision that I'm going to become the new Messiah. And even when they showed the preview and, like, people kneeling, and, like, at the end of the episode, you saw her star get on the knee and
makes
put his hand
no
on his
sense
head.
why he, like, this dude murdered all of his competition to be the most powerful person. He murdered his boss because he doesn't want anyone over him. And he just immediately kneels to Jesse. So do you think it's like he's somehow gaining power over him or something? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I just, like I said, it's just so much in the air right now to where this could go. It's hard to even speculate of what's going to happen next episode. I mean, think about it. The next episode is season finale.
Yeah.
I mean, and God, I'm scared to say it. It says, well, I think the name of the title was at End of the Road.
Yeah, the
end of the road. That shit right there scares me because, I mean, heck, I was checking the numbers for Preacher, you know, thinking about season 3, and the show is the 4th show in AMC. It's the 4th highest rated show in AMC. Well, let's think about how many shows are currently on AMC right now.
I don't know any other ones besides this, Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead.
Okay, well, we had Into the Badlands.
Oh, and Into
was
the
in the 4th one, and so on. And I think they've had a few others that were just like, meh.
So what's number 3? Because it's clearly Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead.
Well, maybe Into the Badlands.
You know. There we go. Shout out to Into the Badlands.
Yeah, you know, awesome show, by the way, which we do pod. You're looking forward to next season. I don't know, but all I know is that the viewership is down 35% from last year. 35%. They average around 1 million viewers. Okay. Yes, it's the 4th rated highest show, but I'm going to be honest with you. To me, that's red alert.
Yeah. And season 3 has not been confirmed yet.
It has not. Now, do I think it will get one? Yes. I really, really do. They've committed to this. They made the season longer with 13, which I don't think they necessarily needed to do. I think a 10 episode would have been great, but they did, and hey, more power to them. I do think we'll get a season 3. Am I concerned that we'll be potting it? Yes, because we really need something to come, a rabbit to fall out of the hat here for this next episode.
I'm really interested to see how the season finale rolls out.
I'm really hoping they saved a lot of their bang for the end.
Yes.
Because I don't know how many people we've got on social media talk to us about how.
Heck,
even Brian got on the other day and said, the preacher shit its pants and don't know how to act. And I was like, oh my God, that is so true.
Yeah, when he's talking about it feels like a chore, that's not good.
No,
we have too much good TV going on right now to have a chore.
Amen to that. So, I don't know. The next episode has got me real curious, which don't get me wrong, I'm pumped to watch now because I'm really curious to see how they're going to turn all this to supposedly, this is the new Messiah, not Humperdoo.
Oh, God. Do you think we see Humperdoo come out?
No, I don't.
I think in Jesus' lineage?
No, I think that the whole reason that we go in this angle is to keep Humperdoo a complete secret.
Yeah.
Humperdoo. I cannot believe I'm saying Humperdoo.
Oh, it's such a great name, though.
Oh, God. Pure Seth Rogen. Humperdoo. Oh, my Jesus.
Hey, he is. Well, he's the 25th.
Touche. That's right.
But that's pretty much the episode.
That is the episode.
The Pope came out and said something. I don't even really remember his speech, but he said God is missing, and he put a lot of chaos into the world.
Yeah, well, he goes, God's missing in our hearts. There's chaos out there. And, he always had that little rebuttal statement at the end of it. You're like, the Pope's really saying this? And you're like,
oh. No.
Oh. I'm going to be honest with you. You know what I really thought the whole time? I was so waiting for a gunshot and him falling.
That would have been amazing.
I would have been like, God's
and then
missing.
I could just see her star.
Yeah, objective one complete. Operation Messiah replacement is a go.
They would just see Humperdoo come behind him.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I could totally see them doing a swaparoo to make bring Humperdoo out into the limelight, but also to make him the false.
Yeah.
For Jesse to become the real or whatever like that. I don't know. In today's world, if we're talking about a new Messiah arriving, I would see more people considering that a negative than it would be a positive, because people are just naturally disbelief unless they see something that shows that.
And let's be real, Humperdoo's not going to do anything that shows that he's the Messiah.
No, he's going to show them something, all right, but it ain't what they want to see. So,
golden showers for everyone.
Yeah. So, guys, what did y'all think of the episode? We got a lot of comments and feedback when we talked on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, but is there anybody out there that just thinks this is just amazing storytelling and that we're a little off or we're not picking up on some things? I'd really like to have a conversation and,
What do you think is going to happen in the season finale? Are you excited for the season finale?
Yeah. Do you have predictions?
We'd love to hear them because we're a little stumped, as you can tell, of where this season's going to go.
I want to say that since I've read a lot of the comic books past this point that I would have a good idea where it's headed, but this has gone into uncharted waters of him claiming he wants to be the Messiah and her star doing what he's doing. And, last week or so we got some images of his past and got nothing this time.
Nope.
We got the Cowboys past and then got sent back to hell. So
we got to figure out Grandma. We got to figure out her star's plan. Tulip and Cassidy got to make a comeback. The Cowboy, hell, Satan. We need an hour and a half, and
there's a lot of open doors and a lot of open windows that need to be shut, and so it'd be very curious.
Yeah,
very
Seth,
curious.
We're hoping that you pull this off, man. We really want it.
I sure hope you do, brother. I sure hope you do. But guys, I think we're gonna call tonight, and we're looking forward to the season finale. And like I said, don't forget to hit us up on BleedTV Podcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter and Facebook, and we love the chit chat. We're not haters. We don't drink haterade or any of that kind of stuff. And we'd love to have conversation, respect opinions, and if you enjoyed the show or enjoy any other pods, you got a minute to give us a positive review somewhere, do it. We straight appreciate it. But other than that, we're gonna call it a night. This is BleedTV, and I'm Zach,
And I'm Cash.
and we'll see y'all next week.